I know what you're thinking. Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with day 76 of the year 2016 at magicreviewed.com. And I know that you're thinking, hey Jeff, how can I win myself a free copy of Carl Fulv's book called Self-Working Mental Magic? I got a napkin here covering the bottom of it because it's green. And whenever there's something green, sometimes the effect is that it just looks transparent because of the green screen. Other times, it screws up the lighting completely, and I get like my green screen goes away and it looks crappy, and the mountains start flickering and whatnot. Pardon me, and whatnot. So that's why we're covering it up. Anyway, you want to see a picture? Head over to the website. So this has got 67 effects in it. It's for $8. I mean, I could stop the review here. If you want some details, click on the link in the description below. Unless you're already at magicreviewed.com, and then don't do anything except for look down, right down there, and you'll see the written review. But go look at the written review either way, because it's going to be more detailed than I'm about to give you. But, overview. So, first one. A common question I get asked is, hey Jeff, I'm thinking of transitioning from magic to mentalism. What do you recommend? What book or video or whatever do you recommend? My answer 99.9% of the time is the Annemann book, Practical Mental Effects. Now, I occasionally recommend Corinda, 13 Steps, but rarely. Generally it's going to be the Annemann book. I've got one of the original ones, the orange and white. I think it's orange and white book. Anyway, but over the years I've read this book. I've had it for about 10 years. I've read this book probably, I don't know, half a dozen times. And then on top of that, I've referred back to it as a great reference and a resource. Many times I'm thinking, hey, I've got an idea for an effect. I'm kind of stuck on the exact method. So I'll head back to here and I'll look for a method that might be applicable or that I can modify to solve the problem I'm dealing with the effect I'm trying to create or work on or whatever. So this book's been a great resource for me. After reviewing it for getting it out for the review and kind of going back over it, I realized something that I never really noticed before, that this is a really good book it's like the Annemann book, only smaller and thinner and maybe even a little bit more current. In the Annemann book, this book was, the Carl Fulv's book is from 1979, and the Annemann book's a bit older than that. So there's some dated things like in the Annemann book. By the way, the Annemann book is still must-reading if you're going to become a mentalist. A must-read if you're going to become a mentalist. But there are things in there like stuff dealing with the operator on the phone, which it doesn't even work that way. The phone systems don't work that way anymore. Even for those few of you who still have a landline, which, two of you? And I doubt either of you are watching this review. Anyway, so I'd say that the Carl Fulv's book's a little bit more modern, but it doesn't replace Annemann. But this will now be one of those books that I will mention that if you're new to wanting to switch over from magic to mentalism, I will start recommending this Carl Fulv's book and the Annemann book. This book has got tons of great stuff in it, and it covers all the not all, but a lot of the basics. It covers, standard things like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to reveal methods, but things that are common mentalist tools and techniques are covered in this book. And some of the standard plots, things like the Living Dead test and book test and stuff with ESP, the ESP symbols. There's some basic card stuff in there. Effects using seance-y type things like spirit things. There's stuff using code and Confederates and on and on and on. Just some pretty standard stuff that you're going to find you're going to definitely find in the Annemann book, and you'll find a lot of it in the Corinda book. But this is a good sort of baby step into that world. And for $8, I mean, that's hard to beat for $8. So if you're looking for a good introduction to mentalism, this is great. Or mental magic. I'm not going to bother with the distinction there, but just general terms. This has got things, for example, this was fit the category of mental magic. There's a poker routine in there, but has a little bit of a mentalism flavor to it. And so, but there's also stuff that I would consider pure mentalism, like strictly mind reading type things and predictions and those types of things. So it's a good mix of the two. Anyway, for $8, you're getting 67 effects. Now the thing here says 67 foolproof mind reading effects. There's two parts of that I want to bring up. 67 foolproof. This is part one. There's one effect in there which I would not consider foolproof, but it's actually it's one that it tells you in the description of it that this one doesn't quote hit every time, but it has a way of dealing with the outcome when it doesn't hit, and it still is okay. That's the short of it. So it's not a problem. It's not foolproof, but it's not foolproof either, if that makes any sense. So I'm letting that slide totally. The other thing is it says 67 foolproof mind reading effects, or mind reading tricks. Again, they're not all mind reading, but to me that was not like them trying to be sneaky or misleading. It was just more of a misspeaking rather than misleading. So other than that, there's no issues. I mean, ad copy's totally fine. So if you're looking to, again, as a beginner, this is perfect. But even if you're intermediate or advanced or professional or whatever level you're at, you will find stuff in here that I think you'll be interested in. There's, for example, there's a handling in here it's basically the out of this world effect. It's a little bit different, but it's basically that idea. But it's a handling that I've read this book multiple times and I don't remember ever reading that handling in there. And so this handling is probably the cleanest one I've ever seen. It's very smart, very clean, very clever, and there's no weird switchy stuff at the end. It's very clean. There's some stuff, plenty of stuff in here that's just, just borrowed items in the space. There's a couple of versions of the guess which hand the spectator's holding something in. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's stuff in there with blindfold work, on and on and on. The only other thing I'm going to mention is the Confederate Chapter. I can't remember how many, 7 or 8 effects in there. And what's interesting about that particular chapter is it's not a Confederate in the sense of you pick somebody out of the audience and you read their mind and they were just, told to play along or something like that in advance. It's not that kind of stuff. These effects use a Confederate in a way that even if after performing the effect you told the audience, by the way, don't ever do this, but if you did tell the audience, hey, I used a Confederate in that last trick, they would still not be sure how it worked. Okay, again, don't ever do that. That's stupid. But the point is, the Confederates are used in a very sneaky, clever, and deceptive way that is beyond detection. So it's very smart stuff. So if you're new to mentalism, excellent book. If you're an experienced mentalist, this is an excellent book. You will find methods and ideas and presentational ideas that you may be interested in. And again, for $8, I said this in the written review, just don't go out to lunch tomorrow, man. Bring a sack lunch and save your $8 that you would have spent on some burgers and fries and improve your body and your mind all with one go. So, final verdict, 5 stars with a stone status of gem. Capital G, capital E, capital M, exclamation point. Do you want to win a free copy of this book? I think you do. So, head on over to facebook.com/magicreviewed, and there will be a post at the top of the page that tells you exactly what you need to do to win a free copy of this. The contest will run for about 2 weeks-ish, sometime at the end of the month. I'll put the exact date in the contest there. Sometime toward the end of the month, though, we'll be giving away a free copy of this. So, that's it for this one, folks. It's time to do your favorite thing, which is subscribe to my channel, tell all your friends about it, like this video, and listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is, oh man, Civil War by Guns N' Roses. I love that song. A lot of people hated it when it came out. I don't care. I dig it. So, I'll put a link to that in the description below for sure. For sure. Anyway, whatever. It's late and I'm tired and whatever. So tune in tomorrow, day 77, where we look at Spontaneous Combustion by Grinnell. And this box has seen better days, man. Beating up. Anyway, until then, folks, thanks for watching. Peace out.